Hey, my friends. So I just had a call with one of my beautiful clients. She's a service-based business owner, and she was really glitching out on her fees, right? She kept saying things like, but what if people can't afford it? Or, if I compare myself to the rest of the people in my market, so she was really struggling. And sadly, a lot of women, especially kind of heart-centered or like spiritual, or people that are in the healing professions, sometimes it can be really difficult to just get pricing that makes you feel like heck yeah. So what I told her was this: when you're looking at it like a transaction, like I charge $250 for 1 hour, or I charge 1,000 for 1 month. That's when I say the gremlins, that's when the little voices in your head are just gonna freaking eat you. They're gonna tell you all the stories like, oh, that's so much, and who do you think you are? And this is helping. What, like, shouldn't you give it away? Or why? Well, blah, 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 right? Okay. What I said to my beautiful client was this: how much money have you invested in not only your training, your legitimate taking the courses, doing the workshops, but also your personal growth? Every time you went to a therapist or a healer or invested in coaching, in over 10 years, you might have invested, I don't know, 100 to $200,000. And so I want you to get that, right? So number one, what level have you invested in? Like, nobody would ever balk at, a lawyer charges $500 an hour because they have to pay for law school, and a physician charges X because they have all the student loans. Well, us in the service-based business, we do too. We have everybody I know makes investments in themselves, right? So on one hand, you kind of get to recoup that. I said to her, think about when you charge higher fees, you can in essence pay that money back. It sets you apart. It makes you stand alone. And this, my client said, I don't think there is anybody doing the work that I do that has more training than I have. And there's the tangible training, and then there's the personal growth. She's constantly investing. So that alone warrants increased fees. But here's the most important thing: focus on the transformation. Instead of the, gosh, can I really charge X for Y? Can I really charge $500 an hour or $3,000 a month, whatever it is? Instead, there's two points. Number one, what will people avoid if they work with you? What will they avoid? But what I know, here's what you're going to avoid if you work with me. You're going to avoid making wrong investments, right? Because a lot of people are like, oh, I'll just buy that formula, or I'll just buy that marketing system, or I'll just work with a copywriter, or I'll just buy this new strategy. Great. But if you don't have the capacity, meaning you have energetic blocks, or you don't have the mindset, or you can't shift your identity, you're going to waste your money. I also know they will avoid the time it takes, right? I'm very fast. I'm into like fast. I also know they will avoid having a business model or being given guidance that goes against their value system. I've been told, this is a funny story. I was told, actually, this man was 20 years ago, or 15, 16, whatever years ago, was one of the leaders in the coaching industry. He was one of the top teachers. And he said to me, because I had young children, I had a lot of debt, that I should just decide to not see my children for a year and just work 16 hours a day. Well, thank God I'm like, dude, go to hell. But what if I or another person would have taken that advice and tried to work a business model that just does not serve, right? So when you think of transformation, think about what they will avoid. Because here's the deal: people are going to spend money. I guarantee they're spending money on something, right? Maybe they're thinking, well, if I just buy this $5,000 coaching program, but if it's not the right fit, not the right time, not the right mentor, money's lost. We've all done it, and there's no shame. We've all made the investments like, well, crap, that didn't there's no ROI in that one. So that's the first thing to ask. What will they avoid if they work with me? The second one is, what will they get? What will they get, right? I work with a lot of high achievers. They know strategy. A lot of my clients come with me and say, I know what I'm doing, but I hate how I'm working. Like, I want to burn this thing down because, yeah, I got the systems in place. Yeah, I'm doing this, but I don't have friends. I'm not seeing my kids, having no sex. Ugh. So what I know is the work I do brings more life, brings more connection, brings like, oftentimes we have to renew a whole, like you get a new operating system. Because if you've been working with somebody else's model or formula or operating system that is really antithetical to you, that's pretty high cost. So to summarize, how do you own your value? The way you understand your value is what they're going to avoid and what they're going to get. And then in terms of pricing, because when my client was saying, well, yeah, but the market, I'm like, shh, doesn't matter the market, because she was also saying, but I have to have it affordable to everybody. And I said, is that true? Because let's just call it, we're privileged to be able to, people that are privileged pay my higher fees. I also have a $97 a month program that I feel great about. It's a fabulous membership. Most people can afford $97. Not everybody can afford thousands, right? And so in one way, we're going to work with this many people. We don't have to work with the masses. But if you have that like servant's heart where you want to like, but I want to support more people. Well, the way I do it, again, I have a $97 a month fabulous coaching program. 3 calls a month, so much good is happening. And I do a lot of teaching here. I've done podcasts. I send a lot of email marketing. So in the old days when I'd be like, I have to help more people, I understood there's a portion of the market that's going to be the high ticket. And maybe that's going to be 20 people a year. And then there's a portion that's going to be the middle, $500-600 a month. And maybe that's going to be X amount. And now I have my new $97 amount so I can have even more. And then the other portion, either they're not ready or they're not my ideal market, but I can always give something if they're available. So those are some like super powerful tips on how to think about, pricing, because you get to determine it. So I always say what feels in alignment. And when I was working with my client, she's like, well, this is my old rate. I'm saying, okay, how does that feel in your body? And it's like, So I don't ever want you feeling resentful. I don't ever want you like, well, that was my rate. I quoted her a year ago. And no. Show up and be real. It's okay to say, you know what? I'm changing my prices. Here's the structure. It's okay to do that. And when you go for new pricing, you might have like gulp. As long as it feels like, oh, I would love that. And remember, you got maybe some investments to pay back. Because I know when I first started, probably 10 years ago, I was like, oh my God, I have to help everybody. I have to help everybody. I have to be of service. Then I'm like, girl, you need to fund your retirement account. So don't just factor in serving everybody. Okay, so I would love to hear how this landed for you. Like, what do you do with your pricing? How do you feel good about it? And remember, what's the transformational value of your work? All right, so great to be with you. Sending you lots of love.